Hey, what's going on, fellas? Czar here. I'm coming back in here. While I've been in the mood for it, I figured I'd do another deck profile. This time for a little bit of a pet deck of mine. Less of a competitive deck for sure, as I'm sure you can see. It's Kozmo Rockets. And now the synergy may not be immediately obvious to you just from looking at it, but when I'll get into explaining it a little bit, and maybe even show you a demonstration at the end once we're finished up to kind of show you what a combo looks like. Because this is definitely Kozmo as you've probably not seen it since at least Fire King Kozmo back in the day. Very Cosmo-centric, or combo-centric, but also Cosmo-centric. So yeah, let's not delay anymore. Let's jump right into the card explanations. So right off the bat, I've got triple Nibiru in here. Immediately right off the rip, I'm actually not too confident in this choice for this deck particularly. I mainly just want to change this to Chalice, I think would be better. This deck can out problem monsters on its own just fine. It's more like an issue for you if your stuff gets negated. So I'd probably change this to Chalice, but moving forward into the Kozmo cards, we got one Dark Eclipser. Worst case scenario, you're still playing traditional old Kozmo where you tin can pass, and Eclipser is a decent untargetable body to search off of tin can as one of your free targets. And in any rogue matchup, like say against Altergeist, you put this guy on the board and you basically automatically win. Because as a lot of you may not know, this guy's a not once per turn banish Kozmo from grave to negate a trap and destroy it. Very, very good in a rogue matchup, so it's nice to have it Hero 1. Triple Dark Destroyer, the man himself, my favorite card in the game. He, untargetable, on summon destroys a card, on destruction of himself, floats into a level 7 or lower. Key part, that last bit in the combo. Maybe you're starting to piece together now that I've emphasized the floating, exactly what I'm aiming for with this deck, but let's keep moving forward. One Landwalker, so this is in here to float down into, maybe in certain combo lines, to just have on the board to protect your Dark Lady, which is one of the main, it's the Kozmo monster you'll be ending on, as it's a monster effect negate and destroy. So it protects your Dark Lady from any sort of destruction. Once per turn, but you can destroy itself instead, or a Kozmo Town if you have that on board, which is very good. We've got the Dasher here. This is sorted by level, so Dasher's here for Fusion Destiny, as you can imagine. Double Slip Rider. This is in-house back row removal, so it's going to help you get rid of any floodgate in the game, barring like Mystic Mine or Skill Drain. And just remove back row, so it's less of a variable in any attempts to kill, for example, or anything like that. Scythe also here. It's a level 5 light along with Slip Rider, so it's very good, but they also have synergy in that Slip Rider can pop your own spells and traps. So if you don't necessarily combo off, but you open just like a Scythe with any way to summon Slip Rider, you can just pop Scythe on your opponent's turn without any fancy combos, and Scythe them out of the game, stall for another turn. It's pretty good. Dark Lady, you can quick effect, summon a level 6 or higher so she can tag out to dodge imperms and stuff like that in certain situations, and also, once per turn quick effect, pay 1,000 life, negate, and destroy a monster. It's pretty good. It's gotta be said. Moving on, this is the bridge between the two decks, and I'm playing two, just because you're playing, so Quick Launch, there's more of it than E-Telly, so typically you'll want to use your normal summon on a Kozmo, and then quick launch out a Rocket is usually the circumstance, but sometimes it can be the other way around, depending on what you draw. But Rocket Caliber says that once per turn, you can tribute this card to summon a Dark Dragon or a Machine from your hand. And as you may have noticed, we're playing Dark Cosmos, Dark Destroyer, Dark Eclipser, even Landwalker. They're all valid targets. So this is basically another pilot and a bridge between the Kozmo and the Rocket archetypes that makes them kind of work just a little better together. So Celestial, here for the same reason as Dasher. We're playing one Tracer. Reason being, we typically only want to summon this off of Quick Launch, and we want to be using our normal summon on a pilot to get a ship out. Um, it could be worth it to put this to more than one though, just because Rocket Tracer is that good of a card. Um, but as of this very moment, I'm not playing more than one, and the combo is still more than doable with just one. So moving on, we got Recharger. It's a target for Tracer that is a non-tuner, since Caliber for whatever reason is also a tuner. So this will help you make your synchros if you decide to go into this one. Farm Girl. If your opponent doesn't have an answer to this, you searching a Kozmo card. The fact that this is tied to battle shows you how much they restricted searching in Kozmo. Getting any Kozmo cards you want is oftentimes like just so much advantage. And plus, this helps facilitate killing as well. You could 1500 directly, search for a Dark Destroyer, 3000 directly. That's already over half of lethal, so just a little extra there gets you the game. 3 Sword Troopers. Sword Troopers is an interesting card because it is a soft once per turn. Pay 1000 life and revive a Kozmo in your grave. So you can loop Sword Troopers with itself. So you can climb up into an Almirage and then revive Sword Troopers and then make Verte or IP or Dagda, usually Dagda, and then revive Sword Troopers again, make a Link 3, Sword Troopers again, make a Link 4, you know, you get the drill. Anything not once per turn is busted. The only thing is you are paying a lot of life to, you know, go down that line if that's what you need to do, and that's typically if you have a normal summon Sword Troopers as well as an E-Telly, and that's your only combo line. That's typically what you're doing. But yeah, then we got 3 Strawman. Also a very good combo enabler. Not as good as Sword Troopers because Strawman does negate the effects of what it summons from the Vanish Zone. But this is an important part of the loop, the abuse of the not once per turns we're doing in this deck, and I'll hopefully show you that here in just a minute. Double Veilers in here, as of right now. It's just extra effect negation to kind of stop our opponent from getting to a board that would keep us from playing. Because as you can tell, this is not a meta strategy, and oftentimes some semblance of disruption is going to be enough to put a stop to what we're doing. But hopefully we can prevent that if we draw Veiler, Imperm, Nib, even Chalice. What if I put that in over Nib? And then 1 Tin Can. So this is here for an E-Telly target. It's an extra pilot name. You can help you see it and get you started on your plays if you draw ships. If you don't draw ships, typically this will just be Tin Can Pass is what this is here to facilitate, so that way you're not just ending on absolutely nothing. At least you'll have a ship to kind of like start stalling and floating down through, getting their effects, search a Dark Destroyer hopefully. So he's plan B in this deck basically. Triple Fusion Destiny. Now this has some anti-synergy in the turn in which you use the fusion spell itself, because it locks you out of summoning, so your floating effects won't work with your Cosmos. But the upside is that Fusion Destiny specifically, or Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer specifically, it's able to destroy your Cosmos ships and instead of itself in this deck and pop your opponent's cards with that. So you're getting double advantage off of that, because typically you can say summon Destroyer, Dark Destroyer, pop an opponent's monster, use DPE, pop Destroyer in another opponent's card, float in from Dark Destroyer into Slip Rider and pop one of their spell traps, or float into Dark Lady and have a monster negate on board, so you don't get into Beard or something like that. It's very, very good. So unique synergy with DPE in here, otherwise not too much to explain. Very good card. Double E-Telly. I'm expecting this to come to 3 at the next list, so hopefully we get that and this deck will just be a little more consistent. Triple Quick Launch. This, with Rocket Caliber existing now as of Burst of Destiny, this card is now just another copy of E-Telly, so we're playing 5 copies of E-Telly in Kozmo in 2022. Very, very good. And then also, if you're not using it as E-Telly for Kozmo, and you're trying to do the full combo, you can get Tracer usually, or you can get just another caliber. Anything to link into Striker Dragon, which is an important part of the combo. More so in this deck than even in, say, Dragon Link. And we'll get to that again here in a bit. Boot Sector, again, very important in Rocket decks. Cosmo Town. We're playing this at 1, but it can help you mulligan Cosmos away to unbrick your hand a little bit. And on Destruction, which you can destroy this with a Tracer, and you'll get a search for a Cosmo card. So it's pretty good. Triple Infinite Impermanence, not much needs to be said there. And then Cosmojo. You can target a Cosmo, destroy it, and then banish a card in your opponent controls or in their graveyard. That's very important because your opponent's Destroyer Phoenix cannot dodge this. If they chain to this, then you are still getting a banish either when Phoenix resolves, it goes to the grave, or just directly from the field. The only way they're dodging it is if they chain and destroy the target that you are attempting to target with Cosmojo, which can't happen. But it's still a very good card and good for outing anything untargetable or anything you don't want to send to the grave necessarily. Extra deck, much more important here than in most Cosmo decks, but we've got Destroyer Phoenix, not much needs to be said. Borreload Savage, easy to make off the Rockets and is a free negate, very good. Draco Berserker is a Synchro 8 you can make for the purpose of killing. And then also spot banishing in response, not necessarily negating, but spot banishing a card effect when it activates against like Phantom Knight in certain situations can also just be game ending. We got Zeus in here because Zeus is busted. Not much needs to be said about him. Just wipe your opponent's board not once per turn as long as you've got the material. We've got Ptolemy. He's our Downward Magician of the deck for Pleiades. So Pleiades requires 2 level 5 lights, which we are both running Sliprider and Artifact Scythe. So Sliprider can be summoned from the banish zone off of Strawman after it's used a floating effect. And then Strawman can banish to summon Sliprider from your hand if you need to go down that line, or you can just take one Sliprider, overlay it with the Scythe that you've scythed your opponent with on turn 2, and just Zeus them if need be, if they're playing like Backroom Link or something. It's very good. And then into the links, we've got Unchained Abomination. This is my preferred link 4 as of right now for things like the Sword Troopers loop, or even just the standard combo, because he combos very well with Destroyer Phoenix, combos very well with Dark Destroyer, Sliprider. Just a very good card in this deck overall. Destroying a card 3 times a turn just for free can't be understated. Moral Code, he helps you tag into any Link 3, usually Unchained from the grave, if need be, by banishing either like a Dark Destroyer, Eclipser, or even it can banish a 3000 attack Dark Monster from your opponent's field as well. So it's also pretty decent removal if you're Link climbing up and through this. Unicorn, just another Link 3. Not much needs to be said there. Spins a card. We got Dagda. Not much needs to be said here. Fetches Scythe. Can revive Scythe on turn 4. Scythe your opponent twice. Very good. Masquerena. We're ending on this a lot of the time in certain lines to use its effect along with Verte. So linking these 2 off on your opponent's turn into an abomination that cannot be destroyed. So it's pretty strong. Link Spider, it's here to hypothetically play through Nibiru plays, but I have not seen it come up, I'll be honest with you. It's just here in the meantime while I'm testing it, but I haven't had a chance to actually use it in that situation yet. Then we got Striker Dragon, very important. So a thing I didn't mention about Tracer and Striker Dragon both fall under this role is you can destroy Kozmo monsters to summon Rockets from the deck, or to search, or to add, or whatever they do. And the Kozmo's floating effects are not once per turn whatsoever. So you can kind of see the route we're going down with this deck, the kind of like game plan we have. Using Striker Dragon, instead of destroying itself like it usually would, we're aiming to destroy like a Dart Destroyer or something to keep spamming monsters onto the field for more advantage. And then Almirage helps you start your Sword Troopers loop if that's the route you need to go down. Side deck, I've just got a bunch of generically good cards in here. Triple Lancia, Triple Droll, Triple Dark Ruler, Feather Duster and Double Cyclone for back row, and then Evenly for back row as well as anything else that could lose to it. Nothing too controversial in here. Yeah, I'm going to cut now, and we're going to hop over into a test hand, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what sort of combo I'm looking to do with this deck and walk you through that. Alright, so here I am with a test hand. I've opened pretty much full combo here. The only downside is drawing Charger in hand, but that's not a huge deal. So the first thing we want to do here is we want to start off with our normal summon. go ahead and normal summon the Sword Troopers here. And we're going to immediately use its effect to banish for Dark Destroyer in hand. We're going to use Dark Destroyer's effect to destroy itself. And then it's going to immediately trigger float down in the deck. We're going to float into a copy of Strawman. We're going to use Strawman's effect, revive the Dark Destroyer we just destroyed, and we're going to put it on the field. Effect's negated. And then we're going to use this copy of Quick Launch. So this deck's full combo can either be facilitated with a normal summon of a Kozmo pilot and a Quick Launch in hand, or a normal summon of a Rokket and an E-Telly in hand. So 2-card combos along with just any ship. So we're going to get Tracer here. Now we're not going to use the effect yet. We're actually going to link summon to Striker Dragon right off the rip. And we're going to use Striker Dragon's effect to search for Boot Sector. And then we're going to use Striker Dragon's effect here to add Tracer back to hand by destroying Dark Destroyer. And then we're going to use Destroyer's effect. This time we're going to grab the Sword Troopers from deck. So now we can safely go in here and summon Dagda using the Striker Dragon and the Strawman. And then we can revive the Strawman with the Sword Troopers, which will trigger the Dagda. We'll get our Scythe. And Strawman is also a soft one's return, so we can once again revive our Destroyer. No effect on him, of course. So now we're going to activate Boot Sector. With Boot Sector, we're going to summon both the Tracer and the Recharger from hand. And then from here, from here, I think the move is to hard make Abomination. Well, not hard make. We can make a Masquerena to make him indestructible. No, we can't. We're going to make Abomination hard, and then from there, we're going to use Tracer's effect to destroy the Destroyer. Get a copy of Caliber. Trigger the Destroyer. We'll grab out the last copy of Sword Troopers. Revive the Strawman again. We'll make a Synchro here. We'll equip the Dagda. I'm gonna make Verte. And from here we'll use Verte's effect. Because the thing you have to remember is I could keep comboing with Strawman, revive Destroyer one more time if I wanted to go that route. Looping again with Abomination. Only thing is, we want to get Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer on the field. We'll leave Strawman up as just an 1800 defense body for a follow-up, and we have one in hand as well should he leave the field. So our follow-up is pretty decent. And we'll have the Destroyer Phoenix as well to start facilitating destroying an opponent's card every turn, looping through our Cosmos on our own turns, etc., etc. So we're going to copy the Fusion Destiny. I'm going to get both of these. Now, alternatively, here I could end on, instead of Destroyer Phoenix, I could have gone down a line and ended on a Dark Lady instead for a monster negate. But there's just several different lines. You got to make choices with this deck. Which is what I like, but yeah, this is what a general combo would look like in the kind of route you're going down. Every combo is going to abuse the Dark Destroyer, Sword Troopers, Strawman interactions, not once per turn with the Rokket cards very well, and that's sort of what we're looking at here. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to do the old YouTube classic of liking, commenting, and subscribing, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, take it easy.